Hey guys, the Explorer 4 here, the Horror Boy, and today we're getting to the fourth film in the series, and in my opinion, the last really good Halloween movie, and that is Halloween 4 The Return of Michael Myers. And this film came out in 1988, gets a 5.9 IMDb, and was directed by Dwight H. Little. Now, this movie, I know it was a difficult time production wise. Like, I know it took a while for a good script to come in. And I know that when it got started, it was a very fast production. Like, I think they were just getting done with the script and they just started filming, and the filming was a lot. Like, they had to rush the script out, change it a lot, and they had to film very fast. I know the production was a very snappy production, but Halloween 4 is one of my favorite films. I love this movie to death. I think Halloween 4 is still up there with Halloween 2. I would say Halloween 1 and 2 are a step up from this. I think this one's a little bit lessened from those movies, but it's still great. It's still a movie that I thought was a really enjoyable time, really entertaining, really fast paced. It's an hour and 28 minutes, goes by in a flash. And just overall, I mean, you look at the series, after Halloween 4 is when really it goes downhill, but unfortunately, Halloween 4 gets lapped in there with 5 and 6 because it is connected to part 5, technically. But there are ways around it, which I don't understand why they didn't do. Like, in H2O, you could still have the Jamie Lloyd character. All you gotta do is ignore 5. 5 is where the Thorn plotline came into. 5 is where the whole, guy in the trench coat and Thorn plot lines and weird stuff going on. That didn't happen until part 5. So really in part 4, you could have Jamie in H2O. I mean, by that time, Danielle Harris was very young. She would have been around the same age as Josh Arnett, or maybe even younger. Josh Arnett and her would have been around the same age. You could even have Josh Arnett and Danielle Harris. Josh Arnett being with Jamie Lee Curtis, like, as, her son, and then Jamie coming into the movie later on and saying, well, I thought you were dead, and blase blase. You could have done a part 4 connection, but for some reason they didn't. And this is a bit underrated. This is a movie in the series that doesn't get a lot of great things said about it. It's a wishy-washy film. There are very, very few people that really enjoy the movie, like really enjoy it. Most say it's eh. Some don't like it. Some don't like the mask. Some don't like George P. Wilbur. Some don't like the cast and where the story went. But I thought the movie was great. I don't understand those problems. For me, The Mask I thought was unique. I used to hate The Mask, I'll be honest. I used to hate it back in the day. I do hate one point in the movie where the mask, it has blonde hair or whatever. That mask looked pretty bad. I'm not going to sit there and say that, oh yeah, I don't... No, that's a bad looking mask. But at least the mask is a consistent mask. It doesn't change like an H2O. So that's what I understand. People hate this mask, but then H2O's mask is okay. I'm not even meaning that in just disrespectful way. I'm just saying how it's a common problem with this movie is the mask. And yeah, the mask isn't as good as the original mask or Halloween. To me, Rob Zombie's Halloween mask look a little bit better. I prefer Part 6's mask over this one. I prefer Resurrection's mask over it. The 2018 movies over it. But I do think it's an interesting looking mask. And the storyline pretty much starts out, it's 10 years later after the events of Halloween 2. Michael Myers is being transported between Smith's Grove and some other facility. And while he's on his way there, he breaks out, kills the people in this ambulance, and then you cut to Danielle Harris, which is the niece to Michael Myers. And she's living with, Ellie Cornell's character, Rachel, and the Lloyds have kind of taken her in and is raising Jamie as their daughter. And Rachel is her sister, well, really more of just probably her stepsister. And her and Rachel, Rachel is a great character, very well written, very well played by Ellie Cornell. I thought she was a really likable character, very strong lead. And it's really a shame that in part 5 she got killed off, because I think in this movie she does a really great job. She's really up there with Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, really, you think about it, Resurrection's lead, H2O. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis did a great job in H2O, but the other characters, you know, Rob Zombie's movies, 2018's movie, Part 6, the series really struggled with leads a lot. I noticed that because, like, Part 6 and 2018 and H2O. I mean, besides Jamie Lee Curtis, I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis has ever given a bad performance in the series. I think she's always done great. But Ellie Cornell did a great job in this movie, and pretty much, Jamie is having nightmares with Michael Myers. Some really good scenes. She goes to school, gets picked on, Jamie's an orphan, Jamie's an orphan. And these kids are just bullying her. It's a very great scene. They really make you feel bad for Jamie's character, because, she's being teased, picked on, they really did a good job with that, and Rachel was kind of struggling to be her sister. And there's kind of that arc in the movie where at first Rachel doesn't want to really be the sister to her. She doesn't really want to take her trick-or-treating. She would much rather go and, see her boyfriend, Brady, played by Sasha Jensen. And you find that he's actually cheating on her, which we'll get into that in a second. But this is a great stuff with Jamie, she's being picked on at school. She goes to a mask shop. But also, meanwhile, while that's all going on, Michael Myers, of course, is going back to Haddonfield, and on his way there, he's pretty much leaving a trail of dead bodies. He goes to this gas station, and Donald Pleasance in the film, and he does a really, really, this is really, Donald Pleasance does a great job in every single film, but in this movie, he really did a fantastic job. The way he's written, the way the acting is, some of his scenes are great, like, even doing his own stunts. Like where the gas station that Loomis goes to is on fire and it blows up, and the car blows up. You see Loomis or Donald Pleasance jump, and it's really him jumping, or at least when he lands. I don't know about him jumping, but when he lands, it's Donald Pleasance. When he's running around, it's Donald Pleasance. He really gave it his all in this movie and delivered a really great performance in the film. And as the movie goes on, Donald Pleasance eventually gets to Haddonfield. Michael Myers gets there as well, kills some people, and Donald Pleasance actually reaches. So that's what makes it different, is that it's not like, oh, the police get there, it's too late, or Donald Pleasance gets there, it's too late. No, it's different. It's like, no, the police get there, they find Jamie, they find Rachel, they find everybody, and they go to this house and they board it up and lock it up. I'm like, that's a very smart idea, and as far as the police go, and, calling people and stuff like that, is Michael Myers tosses a guy into, like a cell tower, like a phone tower, not a cell phone tower, but a phone tower, and the guy, of course, electrocutes and blows it up, so now you can't call anybody. The police station is utterly destroyed. Michael Myers went through every single cop, so there's only a handful left. So it really was smart in that aspect, if I'm being honest with you guys. I mean, really, that stuff was not generic. It wasn't typical. It was very unique. And in this house, people start getting killed, to where it comes down to Rachel and Jamie. They get out of them. This great scene on the roof, which I'll touch on a little bit later on and more in detail. But they escape. Pretty much Jamie is on her own. Donald Pleasance run into her again, and they go to the school. And you have that scene where Michael Myers just grabs Loomis and just throws him through a window. And of course, that's the scene with the blonde hair, which is really weird, but throws him through the window. He's chasing Jamie. Some really suspenseful stuff. I think that this movie really nailed, like, Halloween 2, I think, is a great slasher film. Like, I think it nailed that stuff, but so technically speaking, I should be saying this before like a favorite, but I don't know, Halloween 2 is such a great movie, but Halloween 4 keeps it at its roots with the suspense. Like in that school scene where, she falls down the stairs, and she's crawling, and Michael Myers is just walking down the stairs really slowly. And, Ellie Cornell comes in and saves Jamie. like a fire extinguisher and sprays it on Michael Myers, pretty much like stunning him for the moment. You know, they're on their way out of there, and Michael Myers is on the back of this truck. You have a great scene where he's on top of the truck, reaches to the window, and they're trying to get him off the truck and everything like that. And pretty much they hit the brakes. He falls off. He gets hit by a car, gets shot by a million of guns and police officers and stuff, and falls into what you would later on find out is a mine shaft, and he's presumed dead. And I think the movie really does touch on some great stuff. I mean, first of all, like I said, I'm a fan of George P. Wilbur as Michael Myers. I mean, he's a guy who's very underrated, gets a lot of hate in the series for some reason. He would come back in part 6. I don't know why he didn't come back in part 5. They got Don Shanks, which, cool guy. From interviews, seemed like he's a really nice person, but as Michael Myers, I would prefer George P. Wilbur. Just the way that he did it. And I think what made his portrayal unique is that he didn't try to stiffen it out. Like, in part 5, Michael Myers walks around like this for the most time of the movie. Like, this is Michael Myers throughout the entire film. Holding a knife right here, and just like... Which Don Shanks was told to play him like that, because the director was like, I want you to move like wood through water. And that's like a log, like wood through water, like a log through water. That's pretty much what he's told to act like. So he did his best with that, description. He's like, well, I mean, it's okay. So at that point, when you told him to move like wood through water, it's kind of like you can do the best you can with that as much as you want, But he did the best he could. And he's a cool guy, cool stunt man. Very cool person. It was just, this was Michael Myers in Halloween 5. With a really awful looking mask. It's just in the background, and we'll get to Halloween 5. But yeah, George P. Wilbur, the way he walked, he seemed... This Michael Myers seems more in the shadows. And that's what I really appreciate, because no other movie really did it like this. And it's not as good as the original movies, Michael Myers, but it's still a Michael Myers where he's in the shadows. He's like, the way he moves, it's like he's an assassin. He's like this dark presence in this movie. I think it was very well done. And the mask, I thought, was unique. Made it different. Whenever I think about Halloween 4, I think about that mask. And really, it's not a bad mask. It's just there's nothing to it. It's kind of a simplistic mask. And... the reason why it looks like that is because they couldn't get the mask from the first movie, because I think at that time there was a lawsuit going on where the Shatner mask was being copyrighted by William Shatner, and he was pretty much like, well, you can use my mask, but give me a cut of the pay, and they didn't want to do that, so they had to make their own masks and make them look different, and they only had, a week to make a mask? So I can't really be too upset with the mask. And the only reason why later sequels like, dude, part 5, you had all that time from part 4 to make a new mask, and you make a new mask that looks like crap. And at least part 6 has a decent looking mask. And H2O, I don't even know why the hell they started filming with that movie. It's like, dude, if you do not have a mask picked yet, do not film. It bothered me in that movie. But in here, it's like, it's consistent. Except for one scene that's really awful. What I will admit, that's awful looking mask in that scene. Because people were like, well, we didn't know what the mask would look like. I'm like, dude, go buy a can of spray paint from the dollar store or whatever. Go buy some hair coloring and color the mask. Like, you ain't gotta have... Like, the mask part looked good. The hair was blonde. I'm like, you could have easily fixed that. Take a Sharpie pen. Take something to make the hair look different. I know they said, well, we didn't want to damage the mask. You're coloring the hair. You're not going to damage the mask by coloring the hair. It's just not... It's just, I didn't understand why he had blonde hair in that scene. And I remember as a kid, I'd watch that part of the movie, and I was like, why does Michael Myers have blonde hair all of a sudden? Or peach hair, whatever he had. And I think the movie is filmed very well. It looks awesome as far as an October autumn feel with the atmosphere. I think the cast is a great cast. Donald Pleasence, Ellie Cornell, Danielle Harris, George P. Wilbur, Michael Padalecki, Bayou Starr, Catherine Kidmont, Sasha Jensen, Gene Ross. There's some great characters in this movie, and even that weird security guy at the beginning of the movie. Hell of a night, huh? Welcome to hell. Never get used to the faces, never. It's like, interesting character. And I watched the commentary for Halloween 4 the other night. There's two commentaries. There's one with Ellie Cornell and Danielle Harris. And there's also one with... What else? There's one other one, too. With writer Alan B. McElroy. Which he's a cool guy, too. Put a lot of passion in the script. Again, his original script sounded pretty cool because it began right where Halloween 2 ended. And it was to explain why Michael Myers didn't get burned to ashes, or why Loomis only survived with a little burn mark. It explains that. But his script got really, really heavily edited, and the studio really got involved with it, and it was a rush production. So to take under the circumstances what they had, and how fast the movie was being made, I thought they made the best movie they could make. And I thought it was just, more than average. I actually really do love Halloween 4. And the lighting, the blue lighting was really well done. It looks like the first movie, and atmosphere. And it didn't film it in Illinois. There's a lot of deserts and dry areas, but somehow it works. It feels like a Haddonfield in this movie. It looks great. You have a really awesome opening where it's just one of my favorite openings in a horror film. It opens up in this field, and it says, the orange lettering, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. No Michael Myers theme song, just this ominous, relaxing, like, beautiful, like, I don't know how to describe it. This atmospheric, ominous score that sounded cool. And the way the scene is shot with the pumpkins and the hanging ghosts and the scarecrows and the farm equipment, it was beautiful, man. Beautiful opening. Looked fantastic. And you have I think they shot it during the morning or during dusk. It was either during dawn or dusk, but it looked beautiful. Great opening. And the score sounds good as well. It has this kind of 80s Michael Myers Halloween score, which I really enjoyed. The score sounded great. George P. Wilbur did a pretty good job, in my opinion. I don't understand why he gets a lot of hate. I don't understand that. You have a lot of great scenes that I thought really were classic. The gas station scene. The ambulance scene where he takes the guy, he bangs his head in the wall, puts his thumb in the guy's head, and, kills the mechanic. And the burn wrap around him, which was a cool look. The burn wrap. The rooftop scene was great. It was suspenseful. It was nailed. It was done very well. You really bought that it was on top of this big giant house. It was a good scene. The school scene, where it's her, Danielle Harris is alone in the school, and she's being chased by Michael Myers, and it's a really suspenseful scene. And the ending, what does she say? Stay down, you son of a bitch! It hits Michael Myers. And Michael Myers gets shot by a million police officers down into the grave. That was a great scene. And the ending. I love the ending. I think it's a great ending. It's very surprising. And I remember as a kid, I'd watch this movie, and I'd be like, wow, that's a creepy ending where Danielle Harris now has this darkness, over her, and she's killed her mom. And the final shot of the movie is her in the hallway with the scissors, bloodied, and Donald Pleasant's going, no, no, and he aims the gun, but the guy hits the gun out of his hand slow mo. The music builds up, great ending, and then it led to Halloween 5, which is really a shame. But yeah, the score, the cinematography, the lighting, the direction, the writing. Did I already say the writing? But yeah, like I said, the cinematography, score, Michael Myers, the mask, the feeling, the ominous atmosphere of it. I'm saying ominous, it's ominous, but just that very good vibe from the movie. And it's very fast paced, a quick watch. You know, the actors all do a great job. The story is very well done. I like how it's a 10 years later story, how it's a decade later, and the niece. But I will admit, it's kind of weird because, like, they killed off Jamie Lee Curtis's character, sort of. But I was like, she kind of faked her death in H2O, so why can't you just do that in H2O? But I don't know. But it looks great. Locations are all very well done. It's, to me, the last great Halloween movie, and I really do enjoy it. I'm a big fan of it. It's a bit underrated. Nobody says it's great. Either it's a meh movie or a forgettable movie. I don't understand that. For me, Halloween 4 covers a lot of great stuff, and it feels like the original film. It looks like the original film, like in tone and camera work and stuff like that, and suspense. It's much more of a suspense-driven film, but it also has good kills. You know, the shotgun kill, where he shoves his shotgun and, you know, hangs her on the wall. You know, crushes Brady's skull. Some great death scenes where he crashes his hand through the window, grabs the guy right here, and rips his face. It's like, damn, Michael Myers is really awesome in this movie. He's ominous, but yet, you know, he's in the shadows, he's in the darkness, but yet he's also very brutal. It's a very good mixture. Just overall, I mean, as a kid, I've watched Halloween 4 a lot. I mean, Halloween 4, when I was a kid, was probably my favorite one to watch. I wouldn't say it's my favorite now, but it was one of my favorites to watch as a kid. I'd always watch Halloween 4. It's a movie that always, you know, entertained me, you know, gravitated towards me, and I just really enjoy the way that it's made. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoy Halloween 4. I think it's a great film. I think it's the last great film in the series because the rest of these movies either suck or are overrated or are meh. But we'll get to those movies eventually. But yeah, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, is a great movie. I really enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for watching the review. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. And I'll see you guys on the downhill slide with my review of Halloween 5. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching the review. Hope you guys enjoyed I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I'll see you guys later. The Explorer 4 is out. See you guys.